I had dropped her off at an equestrian camp, and there was a message on my machine from the nurse at the camp. She said Courtney had fallen off a horse and that they had dispatched an ambulance. When I arrived, she just said, "Mommy, I don't feel good. It's not good, Mommy. My stomach really hurts really bad." Then she quickly decided that she really had to go to the bathroom. She couldn't hold it. So she proceeded to go into a bedpan, and there was a blood bath. Courtney had bled out 75% of her blood.
She's the silliest little girl. She's like a monkey. She jumps and she tumbles and she does somersaults and flips and she giggles all day long. She laughs in her sleep. She's hilarious. The day I had her, they did a sonogram on her, and her kidneys were extremely dilated. And they rushed down and got her from the sonogram room and said that her sodium level was fatally low, and they don't know how she was even with us at that time. And that was actually the scariest moment.
Patrick's condition, which we thought was a flu or a stomach bug, turned into something tragically more serious than that. Along the way in the ambulance, they sent the films over to Dr. Scriven. He reviewed them, and I think he knew pretty much what the diagnosis was. They immediately rushed him into surgery, and yes, it was diagnosed that he did have Hirschsprung's. His road to recovery was quite a ride. I believe it was 7 abdominal surgeries, blockages, exploratory, stoma revisions.
There were doctors around her within seconds, and that's when I met Dr. Lee for the first time. As he explained it to me, Courtney had a level 4 laceration on her spleen, and they were immediately going to do a blood transfusion. Dr. Thomas Lee asked me at one point, he asked me to trust him, and I trusted him. She's my life. She's everything I have, and I pretty much put all my trust in him, and he was phenomenal. He did not have to give her the 3rd blood transfusion, and exactly as he predicted, the body acted like a tourniquet, and she was 9 at the time. Courtney's now 17. She just won all-county in a very important swim meet that she had. She's healthy, and she's driving me crazy.
They knew Keegan now. They knew what was going on. We knew what the problem was. It wasn't a surprise. And we always had a room waiting for us. With the whole team working together from Stony Brook, our pediatricians, Dr. Wozniak, we'd come to the conclusion that the surgery couldn't wait, that it needed to be done. She was 4 months old. We went in for what should have been a 4-hour surgery. Ended up being between an 8 and 10 hour. I don't even remember. It was a big blur that day. And Dr. Wozniak, I like to say, he just fixed her. He fixed her. We were in the intensive care unit for a couple of weeks, and we came home, and she was okay. It's been almost 2 years now, and she hasn't had a UTI. We went last January to see Dr. Wozniak, and he said if I didn't do the surgery, I wouldn't know anything was wrong with her. He said she's perfect. She's perfect now. He's my angel. I said without him, I don't know if I would have Keegan right now.
You didn't know. It was just a unexpected, feeling that I never experienced before, and hopefully never will again. With our experience with Patrick and his symptoms that he presented, and at that point he was 7 months old, we hadn't had a clear diagnosis of what it could be or may be, and speculation on different types of formulas or some type of simple remedy that would fix this. And for Stony Brook to recognize it with one look of a scan, it was comforting to know that they are there. Knowing how to react and what to do in such a critical situation was impressive, to say the least, and owe them everything.
As a parent, you're not going to leave your child in an emergency situation. Their biggest thing is, please, Mommy, don't leave. Don't leave me. They don't know anybody there. I spent 9 days in the hospital. Well, I spent 9 days on a chair in the hospital. I think that with the development of a children's hospital, what the intentions are is to be able to have a facility that can accommodate the parents if they'd like to stay over, if they'd like to be with their child. If they're young enough to be in pediatrics, I think that they really need their parents.
Yes, Stony Brook, we lived there, for my daughter's first 4 months of life, and I knew I could get into the car and I could go. I could just go and I could be there in 10 minutes, and that's very comforting. If we had to go to Nassau County or if we had to go to the city, it wouldn't have been convenient. I don't know what I would have done. I might have had to actually rent an apartment or moved. I have no idea, just where I could get Keegan what she needed. But Stony Brook is, I look out my bedroom window and I see it. It's right here.
Children's Hospital at Stony Brook for Long Island would be incredible. I think to attract the most experienced and most well-trained professionals that you can, to have them in one space and one hospital, channeling all their efforts for the kids. And God forbid if you ever need it, then Stony Brook is the place you want to be.